Tape has been driven off my eyes. I'm exposed and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold your hand. 'Cause I'm just a girl, oh little old me. Well, don't let me out of your sight. Oh, I'm just a girl, oh pretty and petite. So don't let me have any rights. Oh, I've had it up to here. The moment that I step outside, so many reasons for me to run and hide. Can't do the little things I hold so dear. It's all those little things that I fear. 'Cause I'm just a girl, I'd rather not be. 'Cause they won't let me drive late at night. Oh, I'm just a girl, yes I'm some kind of freak. 'Cause they all sit and stare with their eyes. Oh, I'm just a girl, take a good look at me. Just your typical prototype. Oh, I've had it up to here. Myself clear. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl in the world. That's all that you'll let me be. Oh, I'm just a girl living in captivity. Your rule of thumb makes me worrisome. Oh, I'm just a girl. What's my destiny? What I've succumbed to is making me numb. Oh, I'm just a girl. My apologies. What I've become is so burdensome. Oh, I'm just a girl. Lucky me, little dumb. There's no comparison. Oh, I've had it up to. Oh, I've had it out to, oh.
Well, hello. Howdy. How's everybody? Great Vanzini, Charlie, Kim, welcome. It's great to see y'all here. Thanks for joining me today. I got a couple of really cool guitars on the old bench. Doing my best to keep up with the chat. I'll be working today, so I'm not going to be able to interact with everybody as much as I would like to. I've got to stay busy. We're having a little string of nice warm weather here in Northeast Oregon. All the ices and stuff is melting off, so that's wonderful. It's been cold. So, Rody, hello, brother. Howdy, howdy, howdy. I'm glad you're here, man. So I've got a couple of really beautiful guitars on my bench today, and it's interesting how my work flow goes, where you know, I don't see an actual Gibson melody maker for literally years. And then in one moment, I've got two of them here at the shop. One of them, you guys, no, drooling's okay. Just do it, you know, you can drool all you want. Oh, you're in Georgia. Oh, yeah, cool. I don't know what the winters are like there. I haven't traveled much. I live in Oregon, so I don't really have a desire to go anywhere else. It's so beautiful here, and we definitely get all four seasons. Hugh, Nines. Hugh, are you able to click on the poll? And I'm just curious if anybody else, if you can see that poll up there. I'm not 100% certain how that works. I asked a question, then I realized I could do a poll. It's been cold in Georgia. Okay, yeah, we've had a really remarkably mild winter this year. I mean, we've had almost zero snow on the ground, and there are years that we have 3 feet from October to April, and this year has been really mild. So I'm really grateful for that. It's been nice. Of course, walking to work anymore, I don't even have to walk in snow. I literally, well, I do for about 25 feet. I should show you guys. One of these days I'll get my camera out and make a little walk. In fact, I could probably do that and still have Wi-Fi connection. The walk from the front door of my building to the front door of my shop is... Okay. That's not a yes or no question, is it? You should be able to type 9s, yes, 10s. Add an option, 9s or 10s. That, okay, I did it wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and end that poll just for the sake of argument. So 9s, Rody, you're 9s. You're 9s on everything. Good for you. That's cool to know. What's up, Het? How you doing, brother? It's great to see you, man. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kim. I think the answer is yes or no, ultimately. So I deleted that poll. I hopefully. And 9s, you play 9s also, Kim. Good. Keep in mind that the scale length on a Gibson guitar is longer than, say, a Strat style guitar. So putting 9s on a Gibson, they're really flubby, but you guys probably know that. Or they can be, especially if you do some drop D tuning. I know Het does that once in a while. Get some heavy. Yeah. Hugh's here. It's great to see you. Again, I had to do a little roll call. Great Vanzini, Kim, Hetriani, my bro, my cuz. I can call you bro. Yeah, something like that. I got that question. 9s or 10s up there on the top. Hopefully I haven't confused everybody. I'll learn to do that poll thing. Today was the first time I tried it. So I got to dig in here and stay busy. I'm going to show you one of the instruments. The photograph in the cover photo of this shows. Oops, sorry, that was probably Sheryl Crow. So here's one of them. This is a 2014 Gibson Melody Maker with P90s. Standard Gibson controls, no pull pots or anything like that on any of this stuff. really cool gray color on this. I really like that. Now, I did a little preemptive work last night before I went home, and this thing had some saddle issues because Gibson doesn't slot their saddles. You'll notice there's no tailpiece, right, on this, not like a normal Tune-o-matic. So this is what is used as the bridge on that guitar, and there were little nicks in the saddle from having it be strung up and not, and the strings kind of dug into the saddle a little bit. So I had to, what I did with my nut file is put slots in here, and I used it for a set of the strings that I'm going to be putting on this guitar, which are regular slinkies. So I've got a 10 thousandths, a 13, 17, so on, to fit these strings perfectly. And upon finishing that, I ran some sandpaper through those to make sure they're nice and smooth, so we aren't going to be cutting the strings off. But I had to do that to keep the string alignment correct, because on these types of saddles, your strings can move side to side, and we don't want that. It'll make the guitar feel weird if you've got, say, your G string. I said G string. Your G string slides one direction or the other. So this is it's not necessarily a necessity to do this, but on this guitar, you can see on this D string, there's a little nick right there where the string was sitting. I was looking at the string spacing on this guitar when it arrived, and the strings were not aligned. Some of them were spread wider and closer, so you know what I'm getting at with that. And another thing that I noticed on this guitar was the first fret action on this up here at the nut looked like it might be a little bit high. So I'm gonna take care of all of that as quickly as I can, and I want to get on to login. Whoa, hang on, what's that? I don't want to do that. Oh God. Okay. I don't know what happened. I hope I'm still streaming. Let's go to YouTube. I'm sorry, you guys. I lost my. Let me go to. Give me a moment here. I pushed a button on here that I wasn't expecting to push. I'm not seeing. Hang on just a moment. I lost my stream. Let's view it in the. Hopefully we're still. Okay, we're still streaming. All right. So. Hopefully we didn't lose you. And all right, so at this point, I'm about ready to put strings on this thing, and we'll basically do just a real basic setup on this guitar, like you've seen on lots of shows. Try sevens. Getting ready to retry slinkies after. Okay, cool, man. I had a discussion with the young man, Tristan, who brought an Ibanez into me yesterday about string brands, and I'll tell you, my Pat Martino 17s, holy smokes, try and bend those. Of course, you know, you wouldn't be bending a lot, I don't think. About string brands, I use, this is my reason for using Ernie Ball Slinkies. It has nothing to do with the sound of the strings or anything like that. It's that I can walk into any guitar shop in the United States and they'll have a set of these. You'll be hard pressed to ever set foot in a guitar shop where they don't have Ernie Ball strings. If I was in a hard place and all they had were Diodarios, certainly I'd use them if I broke a string or needed a set. So that's my reason for, and I think it's legit and educated decision based on the fact that every guitar shop I've ever set foot in, they have Ernie Ball strings. So, and these swap out fine with the Cobalt style, where you don't have to reset your guitar up or anything like that, especially if you have a Floyd Rose on it. So, yeah. Yeah, sevens, holy smokes. I can't imagine doing that. So I'm going to try and set a world record on getting strings on a guitar. So I'm going to put the camera up here where you can see my method for doing strings. I know a lot of guys have commented on my streams that they learned a new way to put strings on their guitar. I'm going to make this look really easy. So this does not have a tune-o-matic tailpiece, so this requires going through the bridge or the saddle and then over the bridge, I suppose. Now, here's something that happens with this when you do this. Oftentimes, this winding will get up here where it can make contact with your string. I'm going to keep a close eye on that today to make sure that it's not going to be a knuckle buster, right? Okay, so we're going to get strings on this as quickly as possible. Here we go. I'm going to start now. Somebody set me a timer. All right, here we go. Gotta have good fingernails for doing this. Oh, I'm already behind. Already behind. And that one got away from me. Hang on, I'll be right there. Whew. Boy, this bridge is... this feed through. Now, one thing I don't like about these feed throughs like this on a painted guitar is that you risk scratching the paint on the instrument when you're poking the string through. So you got to be really pretty cautious about that. The end of your string here will potentially scratch the finish on your guitar, and we can't have that. Am I close to being in pitch? Poo Ninja, welcome. Hey. How are you doing today? Hope everybody's doing great. I have another live stream I'm going to be doing at 5 o'clock this evening. So where are we at? I'm at about 2 minutes putting strings on so far. 2-3 minutes. I'm doing okay. And also with your string winder, be careful not to scratch up the headstock on a guitar. All right. Yeah, not a fan of these. And I'll put you down here where you can see what I'm talking about. When you're pushing the string through here, just something you want to watch out for if you have a bridge like this. And if you do own a guitar, I can see scratches in the top of the guitar already. So somebody already, you notice I'm being real careful not to let that string dig into the finish on the guitar, right? And just the little things that I got to look out for, man. This is somebody else's baby. I don't want to be putting scratches in it. Send it home like that. I'd have to, or create a bunch of work for myself having to buff a scratch out of a guitar top. And this is being a kind of a satin finish on this one, or a dull. We're getting close. How are we doing on time? How are we doing on time? Am I doing all right? This is just a good old-fashioned Gibson, so these don't take long to get strings on them. 1, 2. We'll get the other melody maker out here soon. I'm going to be leaving work at 2 o'clock today. I have guitar students this afternoon, and then I'll be able to do my live stream after those lessons are done. I sure do love doing lessons, and some of my students are now out playing at an open jam that happens here in my town, and I'm really grateful to the business that's doing that. It's a business called HQ Headquarters. It's the headquarters of the Eastern Oregon Film Festival. And it's cool. They have a nice stage setting. Usually guys bring amps and guitars and a drum kit and all that, so you get a full band jam going on. Pretty darn cool. It's like a big city, only not a big city. And while I'm doing this, I'm really making sure that those strings, before I tighten them up, land in the slots that I have established in the saddle for this instrument, so that I'm not potentially dinging up the string or causing a weak spot in it. That went on there nice. How did I do? Did I break a world record? I do this all day, every day, so I should be pretty quick at it. Here we go. See how close I am. That was a half step off. Alright, I'm going to give him a nice little stretch. Snark. I need to put a new battery in my Snark. It needs a new battery. It's getting a little dim. Still works very accurately. Alright, I gotta stretch them out. Now I don't mess around when I'm stretching them. As you can see, I'm not nice about it. I don't like playing a guitar when it's going out of tune because the strings aren't stretched. And you might also notice that the string spacing is accurate now. Gibsons often have a little tiny wider gap between the G and the B, or the D and the G string. And I tried out Preston Smith. He'll be live this evening at 6 p.m. My time, which works out to be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We call it Pacific Daylight Time over here. At least I do. You can hear how much pitch I'm losing every time I run my stretch on this thing. And I don't worry too much about breaking a string simply because I have a music store full of them. In fact, I've got 4 extra sets under my bench right here. I usually keep 4 sets of 9s and 10s here. So just be mean. That was a full step. I got a full step of stretch out of this B string. And also it's really setting the strings here where they're bent over this bridge, and I've got none of them coming across here where I'm gonna be catching my hand on it, so I'm confident that and if that does happen, this is something that you should all do if you have a bridge, or if you like to do the wraparound technique on a Gibson, is cut the ball ends off of an old set of strings, and if you've got this winding up here that's poking you in the hand, put an extra ball, just slide the ball down over the string before you poke it through there. A little trick of the trade that I think most people that own these know, but still getting a full step of stretch out of this B string. Still another full step. So every time I work this over, I'm getting a full step of stretch out of this metal. You can hear it, I hope. And I haven't, please forgive me, I haven't been able to watch the chat. If you've asked a question, there are plenty of guys here. Hugh Caldwell is just a fantastic luthier working over in Scotland, and a great guitar player. He's been releasing some pretty cool stuff. So full step of stretch out of the treble E string on this one. And the whole point of doing these live streams is to hope that if you may have a question that's about doing some work on your own guitar, that maybe you'll learn something from how I do it. Okay, we're all tuned up, looking good. Now we're going to take a look, and I already oiled the fingerboard, polished the frets yesterday, so they're all looking. It's all looking really nice and tidy, clean, beautiful fingerboard on this one. It's rosewood. This is a 2014 Melody Maker, by the way. Made in 2014. I'll give you a look at the back of the headstock just to prove. Here's the tagger on it, right? Made in the USA, 2014 model. Yep. So a long ways from the other one I've got here, or at least a long time from when that one was made to when this one was made. Now we're going to check this first. Boy. So we got a little bit tall first fret action, but before I make an adjustment to that first fret action, I'm going to go ahead and check the neck relief before I get to the first fret action. Oh, where's my capo? There's my capo. Somebody's calling. My journeyman is answering the phone today, I think. So let's check this first fret action. Oh, hello. So we'll get you down here where you can see what I'm up to. And I fret the guitar at where it meets the body. This part of the neck isn't going to bend when you turn the truss rod. It just won't. Okay, so we have banana neck on this one. Almost a banana neck. So I'm going to have to turn that truss rod a little bit. And I want to lower my neck block. My flashlight. See if I can drop my tools all over the world here. So let's pull the truss rod cover, and we'll have the classic 5/16 nut to turn. I need to tighten this truss rod to straighten the neck out a little bit. And the gentleman who owns this guitar, I've worked on a couple of his guitars. He owns several different instruments, and he's got some really nice guitars. That is, oh boy, I'd almost have to say this is a virgin truss rod. I don't think it's ever been turned before. Let me grab my truss rod wrench. Where are you? There you are. Got officially from Gibson. And we're going to tighten this a little bit. Oh boy, that thing's already fairly tight. Now that was about maybe a 1/16 of a turn, and we'll check our neck relief here again. And I want this feeler gauge to contact the string and just feel it. It's called a feeler gauge for a reason. I don't want it to bend the string. Okay, we're going to give the truss rod a bit more of a turn here. I'm gonna go crazy here and give it a little bit more, and let's see what this does for our neck relief. I hope that angle is showing you what I'm seeing. So we still have a little ways to go. It doesn't seem like the neck's moving a whole lot. It's not like an Ibanez. Ibanez guitars, man, you touch that truss rod and it moves. All right, gave it a little bit more, and we'll see. Now we're talking. You see how that string just barely moves? That's what I'm looking for, and this is 12 thousandths. And that 5th, 6th fret on a Gibson is generally where you observe the most neck movement for neck relief. So now my neck relief is good. And the next step I'm going to take is adjusting the string action, which I need a rag. Hope everybody's yeah. And let's measure our string action on a Gibson. We measure it at the 12th fret, and we're measuring 3.5 and woo-wee flat. That's like land. I wonder. Holy. 0 fret buzz. That's good. So they put a good neck on this one. The fretwork on this one is really pretty darn good. And I've got the rag in here so I don't mar up the adjustments. And the only 2 strings we do on a Gibson are checking the action on the outer E or the treble E and the bass E, because none of the rest of them are very adjustable at all. So I'm raising this up, and I had to move it quite a ways, so I'm getting a little crazy with my screwdriver. I'm looking for 3/64, and bam, I hit it. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give that one more little nudge here. Justin, welcome. Hello.
Talking to yourself?
I'm talking to, looks like 14 people. 15 now that you're here.
Oh.
I'm doing a live stream showing folks how to work on their guitars. How are you doing today?
Good.
All right, wonderful. All right. And we're at 4.5. So raising this half of the saddle has brought the low E string up. I'm going to recheck my tuning on this guitar. Alright, want to keep the guitar tension, the string tension, fairly even while you're doing a setup on a guitar, because that extra bit of tension that I just raised will bend the neck, of course. Alright. So in doing that, what I've noticed here is that now my string action is about 2.5. So I've in loosening the strings, the neck relaxed, and the string action has just changed after I just adjusted it. So as you can see, sometimes you got to do something and then do it twice in order to be right. Make small movements on this. Now we're dead on at 3/64, and we're about 3.5/64 on the low E string. So we're going to move this, raise this up. I know people say, oh, you got to take the string tension off. Okay, I heard you. 5/64, 3/64. So let's tune this bad boy back up. Okay, so at this point I like to play them a little bit. I've got I can't adjust the intonation of the guitar. I've got my string spacing correct, got the first fret action. I'm going to take a look at that here, but I want to play it a little bit and make sure the electronics work, make sure I can still play a good old-fashioned E major chord, you know. Gotta stay up on my technique. We'll cover some of that tonight at 5 o'clock. So let's see what she sounds like. I'm gonna start with the rhythm. bring that amp volume down just a bit. And the other thing, P90s are noisy, especially here. Okay, I can quiet them down by shifting my position. If you are getting an amp buzz, sometimes if you shift your position, like noisy, quieter. This guitar feels really nice. Really light. Holding tune pretty well. I've got the strings good and stretched. And again, this one was really just in for a touch-up with respect to the setup on this instrument. And I can already see, having done all of that, that the string action is now higher than it was. I'm measuring 6/64ths and 4/64ths. So the guitar, you know, once you do a setup on an instrument, they like to settle. And you notice I've stretched the strings, picked it up and played it a little bit, and this thing is really going, okay, dude. And you got to play them a little bit and kind of beat the tar out of them to let them settle. And so, having noticed that, we need to adjust the string action one more time. And I did notice that the guitar feels really nice, but when I was playing it, I'm like, gosh, that feels high for what my reading was. But here we go. We're gonna tighten this down, adjust that string action a little bit. We'll get her to settle. And just like that, 5/64ths, and we're about 3.5. I'm gonna let that sit, and we'll play this thing a little bit more. That's why I have to play guitar while I'm at work. It's just not fair. Isn't it fun watching somebody tune a guitar? I gotta admit, I'm feeling like there's a little bit of intonation issues with this instrument. And there's nothing I can do about that without replacing the bridge on this one, or the saddle, whatever you want, bridge and saddle combined. The chords just don't sound in tune when I have the guitar tuned up, which I'm pretty picky about that sort of stuff. My ear is very well trained, so I can hear when stuff's out of pitch, and you might be able to hear that. Hello, Preston. So let's again check our string action, and if my camera guy is not staying up with me, it's just because he drinks a lot, and he can't keep up most of the time. So the string action's holding nicely after doing that little bit of setup. So while I've got the string action where I want it, I'm gonna adjust the pickup height. Way too close, way too far away, way too far away, and way too far away. So we've got, oops, let me check this one again. Yeah, so I noticed a pretty noticeable imbalance between the pickups. So we're gonna get these adjusted correctly, and we'll see where we're at. So this is way too close. So I'm gonna I gotta get the right screwdriver. And while I'm doing this stuff, I try to be real careful not to touch the strings with my screwdriver to put a nick in it or potentially weaken. Alright, so these screws are going straight into the wood and the body of the guitar. So tighten them to lower the pickup and loosen them to raise. Let me get that screwdriver out of my way. So I'm going to bring it back up. Went a little too far. Looking for 4:30 seconds. And I want to be very accurate on this because it can create volume differences between the pickups if they're not right. Now this is way too far away, so I can't raise it, so I'm going to compensate for that. So that's measuring.
Yeah. This is the one I
4:30 seconds. So we're going to go to 5:30 seconds on this side.
Anything else you try to get isn't going to work very well.
I'm going to put these pickups just a little bit further away from the strings just to create the balance. And this pickup does not want to sit flat in here at all. I'm really not digging that. It would probably be wise of me to pull the strings off of this and check what's going on underneath there. Something's hanging up. Hang on.
It's Dan Belmore, or no, Daniel Gilmore, actually.
Oh, you want me to take that? He's probably calling for me.
Hook it to that, and then so you run the cable inside there. There's a,
I don't see anything.
And,
We'll give it a shot with this type of adjustment.
And mounted all, you can even borrow the mount that you had your.
I want to balance these things.
Right, so you can even borrow that.
We're still way too high.
If I have less enough.
Yeah, and as I get it lower in the pickup cavity, it seems to be leveling off a little bit. 5:30 seconds. And whew, am I going to be able to raise this up? Can't. That's not adjusting right.
If we wanted to still use our Netflix,
Okay.
get rid of all that other stuff.
That is not adjusting right. I'm guessing there's a piece of wire underneath here that's going through the cavity here that's holding this pickup up.
TV and antenna.
Decisions.
Yeah, wherever it's at now, whatever it's on now for your Netflix to work, is switch from that to.
Okay. 5. I don't know if I'm going to be able to raise this up at all. Oh yeah.
That's the best compact.
So the bridge pickup's moving just like it's supposed to.
One's 3 times that size, and they had no
4:30 seconds, and
Which one of you gentlemen are here?
boy, I just am not a fan of how that's
I'll probably
working. Let me
I'd like to bring
Let me see if I can-
She's the one who wants to do this and have her talk to you.
so that's as high as I can get it
That way you can explain it to
on
her.
that side. Am I going to be able to raise? Now it's moving, but if I turn this side down,
Also, you know, you have to scan through the
yeah, the whole pickup is moving.
You'll go into the menu, and it'll ask, you know, antenna or cable when you have it on that setting.
Well,
And then it'll ask you to scan.
so this is the kind of stuff we encounter. We're talking about a 32nd of an inch, but on a pickup height, that can make or break. Hey, Zach, welcome, brother. My brother Zach. Everybody say hello to Zach.
But you also
All
have
right, and Justin, thanks for being here. Yeah. Hugh, I'm glad you're here. Wow, we got a pretty good group of folks tuning in, and I really appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Now we're talking. We got good balance between the pickups. Good balance. Let's play this thing a little bit. Let's play this thing a little bit. It was quieter. We have pretty dirty electricity here in the shop, so it's really difficult for me to get a real good clean tone. It's great when I'm working on amps. All right, and the guitar seems to be holding tune after all this moving it around, picking it up and putting it down. If you're in the recording studio and you've set your guitar down in a stand and you pick it up to track again, retune it. You're paying witness to what can happen. Just laying a guitar down and picking it back up can cause the guitar to fall out of tune, and you don't want to get that perfect take and have it be recorded out of tune. So there's another little bit of advice I've learned over the years.
I want to make sure everything is hidden because the wire that
I don't know what chord I was playing, but I don't know what chord I was playing. Can you name it? And it's wake up! Okay, so I'm gonna actually play something here. I'm gonna use this Fender medium pick today, which I don't normally use these. They're just so slippery. Let's see if I can find a nice chord to start things off with. I'll make something up here. Oh no, here we go. I got to pull off the contortionist guitar player shit now because we're live. And I got to use the right pick. Here we go.
No problem.
Ooh, let's try that over again. This might work. working very nicely. I think, I didn't really have to do a whole lot on this guitar to get it feeling right. A little bit of truss rod adjustment, and definitely the pickup height balanced the volume of the two different pickups. Again, the electricity in here is really noisy, so I can't use a ton of overdrive. Get a Gibson bed. Very nice. Speaking of beds, I just ordered a new bed for my new apartment last night. Free bird. All right. I think what I have left to do on this is something that I'm going to do at another time. I want to get the 61 Gibson out and let you all feast your eyes on that and drool. It's a beautiful guitar. I'm going to put the truss rod cover back on this one, and but before I do that, I'm going to once again check the neck relief. Sorry if that was Cheryl Crow. Gosh, I'm sorry, Cheryl. Okay. No, I'm never sorry. I'll do my best to not let it happen again. Are you getting a good shot of my mouth? Okay. I get comments on my teeth all the time. That's kind of interesting. God bless me with some really pretty damn good teeth, which I'm grateful for. I don't know if God blessed me with it. My mom and dad sure did. So we've got damn near, and you can see that after playing the instrument, look at what's happening here. And I've got way less neck relief now. It's just settled in, which is why I don't generally send a guitar home the day I finish it up. Because they will bite back. And I think this was a virgin truss rod. I don't think it'd been turned before. So I'm going to loosen this just ever so slightly. It's fairly tight. Give it about 1/8 of a turn. And let's see where we're at now. I'm going to unplug this thing. I'm going to break my guitar cable. But you'll notice that, I've got, and you can check your neck relief by just pushing the string down. Once you've got it, you've got a flat surface here. And I've got almost 0 neck relief. It's really strange how this thing's biting back. So we'll turn this a little bit further. And again, I do my best to try not to touch the strings up here. I don't want to nick them, create a weak spot in them. I'm probably going to end up pulling the strings off of this again to make the adjustment to the pickup. Because I am going to look into that and see what's going on. Now we're talking. That's acceptable. We're talking about probably 0.10 of an inch of neck relief right here. And having done that, I want to look at the pickup height one more time, and then I am going to go get the 61. Really super fun. I'm glad you all are here. Thanks for hanging with me today. The pickup height is maintaining pretty good. Yeah, that all looks very good. And let's check our string action. 5/64. And that's 3.5. I'm gonna lower this ever so slightly. I want 3. That's almost 4. You can see how much when I'm measuring this stuff. I realize you guys can't see the measuring devices, but I can totally see the change after playing it for a few minutes. So if you take a guitar into a guitar tech, I recommend asking them if they played it when they were done working on it. Because if they aren't doing this, you're not getting a true setup. Whether they can play good or not, you should play a guitar, and good is a subjective opinion, I suppose. Yeah. Made an Americano. Nice, you. Oh man, you guys are making me hungry. Good grief. I am a little hungry here. And I need to check my, there we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me check my blood sugar. Yeah, I don't know. I got teeth. I was born with really straight teeth and never had braces. I got like 2 fillings that I've had done, and I do have one fake tooth right here, and that's because I smoked way too much crack. No, I joke. I looked like a drug addict for a while. I was eating lunch at McDonald's, which I never do, and they had a French fry in there that when I bit into it, it sliced the top of my mouth. It was cooked and burnt, which those French fries are really fun to eat, but it cut the inside of my mouth and it created an infection in there, and I lost a tooth due to that. Sheesh. Melody maker, $4,000 for a reissue. Well, get ready for this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, man, you gotta brush your teeth every day. Use dental floss or a pick to get all the stuff out from me. My teeth are really close together, so I've been very lucky and I feel blessed. These came in, and before I break out the actual 1961 Melody Maker, I want to show you a guitar I built. I posed a question on my other social media outlet. 3 guesses what I did today. Nobody guessed correctly. I mean, they guessed a couple things correct, but yeah, Macbeth. Don't eat at McDonald's. I don't think I've eaten there since then, except for a road trip one time. A buddy of mine wanted to eat there, and so I kind of had to. I wouldn't go there and buy it on my own. All right, so I'm going to show you a guitar that I built. When was it? Day before yesterday. Check this thing out. When this guitar arrived here, it was the body with no pickups, no controls, no pick guard. The neck was off of the instrument, no hardware on the headstock, and it basically was in 2 pieces with all the hardware that the young man had purchased for it. He was going to build it himself, but realized very quickly that he made a major mistake when he ordered the bridge. And you'll notice it's a string through bridge, which requires these on the back side of the guitar. And currently these are not in the guitar. What I used, I drilled the holes for these ferrules, and I haven't put them in there yet. And the reason I didn't do that or wait was because this is a working musician. This young man is playing at a wedding on Saturday, and he had this guitar, and it's got all the gold going on and all of that, and I had to get it done for him. So unfortunately it doesn't have the ferrules, but nobody's gonna see that, what the ferrule holes look like right now. I use little flat washers to make sure that the string balls didn't get into the body wood and you get stuck ultimately. Gold hardware, and you'll notice I didn't have gold string trees, so we used chrome on this, but at the same time the hardware came in with silver or chrome colored screws. Both of them, they didn't have gold. I did have gold pickup cover pickup screws, so I use those to bling it out. And this kid's gonna look very nice, and his guitar is gonna look nice, and he'll be able to play it at his gig on Saturday at the wedding I wish the 2 of them the best of luck. I don't know why anybody gets married anymore. That makes no sense to me at all, aside from taxes, but whatever. That's a subject of great debate. Have you heard about a new Badlands guitar company? Philip McKnight? No. No. Pooh, thanks for joining on. Have a good afternoon, brother. Or sister, whatever. I don't know. So let me take this one for a spin real quick. I just want to check and make sure that it's all holding. I'm probably gonna send this home with him today so that he has some time with it. This guitar took an entire full day here on my bench to get it all put together. It needed routing in the body. It needed to have the holes drilled through for the strings to pass through the body. A lot of work on this one. So yeah, isn't that beautiful? Look at that thing. And I did some fret work to get rid of the cheese grater frets that come on guitars like this. So yeah, this is a gorgeous guitar, very blingy. I'm gonna grab my favorite guitar pick. We'll use a yellow Dunlop. This is my favorite. I still haven't gotten a whole lot of time in with Preston's picks. And I haven't touched this guitar today. It's still in tune from yesterday. On this guitar. Check out the strings. Can you guys see the color in that? These are gold. Rody, thanks for stopping in today. These are gold plated strings the young man picked out for this guitar, and they are Brian May signature strings. If you've ever looked at Brian May's guitars, they have that gold color to them. What a beauty, huh? I'm gonna take a picture. This thing is gorgeous. I'm not a big fan of gold hardware because it turns green. usually after not too much time. So again, this is one that I set up and got put together in one day. Working musicians come first at my bench, bar none. So that's why his guitar got done the way it did. Brody, it was really great to see you. I still don't own a Telecaster. Don't ask me why. I don't have a good excuse, and it's one that I probably should get, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of single coil pickups because of that noise, but I'm in a bad environment to make that. Yeah. You like the gold stuff, Vanzini? That's cool. I have a buddy that bought gold Floyd Roses and had a Floyd put on a Strat and even had a Les Paul routed out. And that was heartbreaking, but nonetheless. And that dude, he sweat. If he looked at a guitar, he sweat like he got out of the shower. It was amazing. And his hardware, he had extra saddles and all that stuff because his hardware just got mangled by his sweat just coming off his arms. It was amazing. He'd get done playing, you give him a hug, and it was like, oh, felt like he got out of the shower. It was amazing. Okay, so anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you on this one, and let's get the 61 out. What do you say? Here she is. This thing weighs about 2 pounds. How thin the body is on that. This is all stock. The serial number dictates that it is truly a 1961 Gibson Melody Maker. Solid one-piece body. Just beautiful. Never had a broken headstock. I did use a black light on that to make sure. That's a great question. I would probably, on a Telecaster, boy, that's a tough question. I haven't really given colors of guitars much thought in my career. Yeah, this thing is a beauty. It has a really dry neck, I can see on this thing, and it has the same type of bridge and saddle assembly on it as the other one. The string action looks really nice, and I have yet to plug this thing in, so let's see what she sounds like. Oh, and now my memory serves correctly. The reason this guitar arrived in my care is because of this. You see that? Unfortunately, this guitar took a hit and the nut chipped out. We're going to put a new bone nut in this, but also take a look at this machine head. So this thing definitely fell, and the damage in the headstock, it took a tumble, unfortunately, and whoever put strings on it did it. You know, I think the young man who owns it put strings on it. I don't like wrapping them like that, but nonetheless, so when this thing tipped over and broke the nut, it also bent this machine head. And if you own a guitar like this and the machine heads aren't bent, you're not playing it enough. That's a very, very common injury that these types of guitars get. Color, you know, I love flat black, and I think a flat black Tele with a shiny black pick guard would be a really neat looking Telecaster. Chrome hardware, of course. Maybe black machine heads on it. And I would prefer a maple neck and fingerboard also. Oh, microfiber cloth, use when I'm finished, done. I think guitar. As soon as off of that. Yeah. That's that's a good policy. Get all that sweat off of there. Yeah. Yeah, except for the fact that the button, the knob on it would get melted. Unfortunately, we're not gonna touch. This is a 61, and again, given the era of this guitar, there's absolutely no reason to risk causing damage like the knob coming off of there. But I completely, and that was definitely a thought that I had. I've done it with other machine heads where the buttons were actually like crumbling off like old Gibsons do. So that was definitely a consideration. And I appreciate that. That's a great comment. But no, we're not going to do that. I'd rather have the thing be bent. It still works. It's functional. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Although the young man who owns this guitar doesn't play a lot, and I don't think that's a big concern of his. If this was a gigging musician, we might consider doing something like that. But it really does work just fine. There's no mechanical issues with it. It's just unfortunately kind of an unsightly thing for us picky mofos with regard to that. And I think these are 10s. I want to measure the string gauge on this and try and leave this thing set up the way it is. And let me get my digital got some digital measuring device here. I want to check the string gauge. It's on it. We'll check these real quick. Let's see. They're 10s. So I'm going to replace a set of 10s with 10s. So we'll do 10 gauge strings on this bad boy, girl, and get started on the nut. And it's really unfortunate because that's the one original part on this that, I don't know, it's kind of sad that it got broke. But it, again, if you own a guitar this old and like a nut or a machine head hasn't been broken, you're not playing it enough. It's like having a boat parked in the garage. It doesn't have any scratches in it. Good for you. All right. Yeah. I'm not gonna risk doing it. I get it, but you got to consider that this is a very valuable instrument, and if something did happen to that button, the bent machine head is such a minor thing. But I get it. Hey, Kim, thanks for being here. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon. If it's afternoon in your area. Yeah, it is afternoon in Georgia. Enjoy the weather. All right, so here we go. Let's de-string it. Oops, sorry, Cheryl. I apologize. We're gonna pull the strings off of this bad boy and get busy. And this is the machine head that is bent, and it works just fine. Just being kind of gentle with it to not create any more damage. This one's slightly bent too, and again, acoustic guitars that have these types of machine heads on them, if the G string and the D string aren't bent, you're not playing it because they tip over, and that's the first thing that hits anything. This is slightly bent. You can probably see this wavering a little bit. I'm just not gonna risk losing the button on there. I'd rather have that intact than having a bent machine head ultimately. I have replacement buttons, but they won't match these. So there's a point where we've got to be very careful about what we do to vintage instruments like this. As much as I would love to fix that, not gonna happen. They ain't making any more 61 Gibsons. Come out of there. I'm trying to get the strings off of this saddle bridge. Saddle/bridge. Okay. And get these strings off of here. And the way the young man put these strings on here is actually not too bad. They actually come off pretty easy, which I'm glad. That's cool. Now, one thing I got to be careful of are these ferrules. Those fall off. So, what we do, if you don't want those ferrules to fall off of the guitar, you take a, hopefully you might learn something from this a little bit, the trick that my journeyman taught me. So, take the string that you just cut off the guitar, feed it through all of the machine heads, you see what I'm getting at here? Because these ferrules, if you look at them wrong, they'll fall out of there and they'll be lost. Good luck finding one that fits. Ask me how I know. And we'll just tie a sissy knot in this. In fact, I kind of did that in the wrong place, but I'm going to tie a sissy knot in it. And now these cannot fall out of there. That is a secret that I don't like to share, because losing those keeps guitar part manufacturers in company, or in business. That's awesome. I love Rick Beato. That guy he is amazing. He's got a heart after my own heart. His love for music is remarkable. I'm gonna add a new blade to this. That one's a little bit dull. Now what I'm doing here, I'm scoring the back edge of this nut to make sure that when I take the nut off of this instrument, that it doesn't chip the paint. Take a big chunk out of the paint. I'm almost, oh boy. Silence is deafening. Alright. Not sure how well y'all can see what I'm up to here. I may not have had my camera guy again. He's been drinking. And I do have to put the truss rod cover back on the other melody maker. We'll do that. And take my favorite block of wood and give this a little tap. There we go. Okay, this is the original nut. This will go home with him. It can be reinstalled on the guitar at a later date, if that's what they choose to do. Where are my nuts? Where are my nuts? There they are. Found my nuts. I dropped my nuts. All right, so this nut is way wider. I've got a pre-cut nut, and where's the original one? What I'm gonna do here is check the string spacing, and I have this cool tool. I'll get you down here in the action. If you don't own one of these and you work on nuts, you should own one of these. This is an amazing tool. It allows me to check how goes the battle, Stu?
I'm getting there, bud.
All right.
All right.
Alright, so just put a mark on that so that I know what there is the proper string spacing for this instrument. And let's see how close we are with the new nut. We are way... That is not correct. So we're gonna have to, now this nut is way too tall to begin with, and it's way too wide. So I almost feel like I might be better. See how much width do I need to take off of that? I'm going to take a little bit of a, I need to go out to the belt sander. I'm going to take a little bit off the back of this nut, and then when I bring it back in, I'll take some sandpaper and flatten the top of this out, and I will set the string spacing to this exact spec. And we'll get this thing to fit perfectly and glue right back into where this old one was. The nut is also too wide, which I'll do some work on the sides of that to get it narrowed out. Boy, it's just barely, we're talking less than 1/2 millimeter. That fits nicely though. All right, you guys. These nuts. I love the comments, Justin. That's awesome. I hope you're having a good day, man. You guys, Justin's only like a couple hours away from me. I could get in my car and be there by this afternoon. It'd be fun to go visit him. And just another detail. I'm going to be off at 2 o'clock today. I think we're... Wow, it's 1:30 already. I'm gonna continue this stream until right before 2 o'clock, and then I'll end. So let me go do a little bit of work on this nut to get it down to where I can get it fit in here, and then we'll continue moving forward. And I'll probably pick up tomorrow where I leave off today. This is a bone nut. This original one, I believe is a composite material. I'm not 100% certain. I don't know what Gibson used back in 1961. I'd have to do some digging. And this nut would almost work. There it is. Just that chip out of the side of it. I don't want that string falling out of there when he's playing. So give me a moment. I'm going to step outside and grab my bench grinder and take a little bit off of this thing. And you can talk amongst yourselves if you'd like. Alright, and be sure to go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. And if you feel like you learned something and it's worth a little bit of money, go ahead and send me some. My PayPal link is in the description of the video. I won't be monetizing my videos anymore. It was fun while it lasted. Give me a couple minutes. I'm going to run outside and take care of this, and I'll be right back. Oh, seriously? He came in and busted out. You want to sell that, right?
Does he play?
I hope this will inspire him to learn.
Totally.
You know?
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, the nut was busted on it. So busted nuts. We love busted nuts. Whew. Boy, I cut that damn near perfect. All right. Oops. I'm sorry. I should have left you pointed at the guitar. Oh, that's absolutely perfect. Wow. I got lucky. So I'll be able to. I'm just kind of looking at for the appearance. I don't like removing any material from the guitar itself. So I am still actually. I said perfect. It's sitting there nice and flat, but I'm gonna go back out to the bench and the belt sander and take just a tiny bit more off of this. I can do that a whole lot more quickly than I can even if I just sit here and wipe it on my sandpaper on my table here. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, Vanzini, I would love to do that for you. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. I'll let you guys just gaze upon the glory of a 1961 melody maker, who, of course, you all know a little rock star named Joan Jett, who made these things very famous. I think she played Melody Makers. Give me a moment, I'll be right back.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's gonna be a sweet guitar. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that stuff. Just a little stab work. A little finger work. Been playing for another 65 years. Yeah. God. That was 61.
Yeah. 62 years old. Let's see. I could, you know, it just occurred to me. Let's see how that sits. I might need to take just a touch more off of that. Let me look. Yeah. Okay, so at this point, I have enough material off of here that I've removed with the belt sander that I'm going to go ahead and do this by hand. Hang on just a minute. I got to move my I'm sorry if you guys are getting seasick here. Not my intention. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and grind down on this thing. Come on. It looks like a lot's coming off of here, but not really much comes off. This is 220 grit sandpaper. And the idea is just to sneak up on it so that I don't take too much off. Okay, that's looking pretty darn good. Yep. Perfect. Almost perfect. I keep saying perfect and it's not. Okay. Got to remove a little bit more material off of this bad boy. I like to flip the piece around so that I get even pressure on it to keep that nice and flat. Check it again. Boy, we're getting close. Just a touch. Need a little more off of the bass strings than. Boy, that's awful darn close. Oh, we're close. So what I'm doing here is I'm focusing my pressure on the bass side of this. I want to take a little more off of this end than the other. The treble side of this is fitting in the slot very nicely, but the bass side needed a little more material removed. And on an instrument like this, this kind of accuracy is important, very important. Love the smell of bone in the morning. There we go. I think we're there. It felt really nice. Yep, got a nice, sitting nice and flat on the bottom on both sides. Just beautiful. All right. So what I am gonna do is now make a little bit of a preemptive strike on the width of the nut. I'm going to take a little bit off of both sides. It's pretty darn close. It was about a 1/2 millimeter too wide in total, not on both sides of the nut. This bone, this stuff's hard shit, man. Let's see, and I'm not worried about the height of it at this point.
I think this is funny with Pink Floyd and the Dead's all out in the middle of nowhere, actually on the beach.
See, I need to take a little bit more off of that. And again, just sneak up on it. Don't take too much off of there. I don't want to feel it. I want it to fit perfectly. You got a little bit more to take off of the back side of that. Okay. Now that I've got this thing fitting on here nicely, what I'm going to do is go out to the bench grinder and remove a little bit of material off the bottom of this nut. I've got to take it down so far. I don't want to have to be sanding all that stuff off the top. I'm going to go make that quick. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. Alan, hey, brother. Get the grinder out. Yeah, exactly. I could do that, but boy, you got to do this stuff. You don't want to. On the belt sander that I've got outside, I'm able to sand a flat surface and keep it perfectly flat. You know, so I've got a 90-degree angle right here, and I want to keep that as a 90. So, you know, this angle right here, and it is a 90. I'm looking at it with my eyes, but. So the reason I don't use like a Dremel or something like that is just you'll get an uneven you'll end up with an uneven surface. So I'm going to go take a little bit more off of that with the belt sander. I'll be right back. Give me a moment. Here she is. See all the drool over.
Oh, so you probably talked to Stu. He just ran to the bank. He'll be back. That's the guy? Huh? That's the guy who just got out? No. Okay, I'll be back. What kind of speaker is it? It's one of those party speakers, the big one. Oh, you might want to talk. Yeah, no, just bring it in. We'll have Marshall take a look at it. Bring it right now? Yeah. Well, I don't. You'll probably have to leave it because there's stuff in front of you. Okay. So let's see. Let's see where he is here.
Alright, so I just took a little height off of that, which it looks like I did just right. So I am going to, let's see, I'm going to grab some denatured alcohol and a paper towel. Actually, I'm going to use a Q-tip in this case, and I want to remove any dust and debris that might be on there. They used a bit of glue, put that old nut on there, but the way this one's seating up with it, I'm not going to go ahead and scrape that glue off of there. This denatured alcohol will clean any oil, dust from the bone that I've been sanding on for a bit, and give me a nice clean surface to glue the new nut down to. We'll let that dry out. Oh, there's my camera guys again not following me. Here we are. Alright, so I've wiped that down, used a Q-tip, and you can see, you know, there's some guck on there from wiping this down. And alright, let's see, Zach, hey, on the back half of me, I'm gonna upgrade you to honorary Canuck. Alright. I am a Winterhawks fan, so if you're from Canada, I don't apologize. Portland Winterhawks, they're an awesome hockey team. I'm assuming you, you know, we all put that together with folks from Canada. They love hockey. I'm not that far from Canada, and I absolutely love hockey. Grew up going to Winterhawks games. Okay. I'm gonna, my little bottle of CA glue is getting kind of low, but we'll use it down to the last drop. Oh, what do we got?
I got a speaker that's not working, and just give it a quick glance over, see what you think.
Okay.
When you get ready. I told him it might take a few days, so don't
Okay.
worry about it.
Is it something they got a show coming up or?
No, it's just their party speaker, I think.
Okay.
But Kevin was still working for cable now somewhere. And he squirted out that I had got something in there. Well, you know, you get in line, and he was trying to explain to her, she had a haircut, you know, at the time. Remember those kind of page boy haircuts where it's straight down?
Okay. We have a new nut on the 61. Isn't that gorgeous? And nut work, you know, is not simple work to do. I might make it look simple, but boy, the precision that's necessary in doing one of these is important. And all the stuff I've done thus far has been kind of the grunt work of doing this. Using a little bit of a accelerator. Ooh. And here's another thing, and I just about made a big mistake. Using the accelerator, this is a super glue accelerator. Do not get this shit on paint. Meaning like this Gibson that's painted on the headstock. It will wipe that shit. This is neck honey. It says neck honey, but this is a bottle that I've reused. I don't throw anything away. Do not get super glue accelerator on painted headstocks or like the lettering on a Les Paul Studio. You know, they put the Studio in paint on the truss rod cover. It will remove that in the blink of an eye.
So that's a little bit of a plus.
Everybody say hi to Alan if he's still here. He's about 3 blocks from where I'm standing right now. Hopefully he's working on that big budget film that just came into LeGrand. Yeah. He gets all those calls. I think the film industry in LeGrand is totally unaware of my exploits in that world. Funny. It'd be cool to get a call for stuff like that, but I didn't go to high school here, so I'm not as close with those folks as others are. All I'm doing here is getting the excess super glue off of the neck and the nut.
Sure, yeah, go right over there and I'll go grab one of the guys. And we'll make him give you a deal today.
There we go. And well, boy howdy. There. is. All right.
Hey, what are we doing for you today, bud?
I need some 6.5-inch speakers.
So what kind of vehicle?
1997
6.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you putting them in the rear, is it a 4-door?
Yeah.
You putting them in the rear doors?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. You said 97?
Yeah.
Just about any of these will fit in there.
Not looking for something too expensive. Just
Okay.
just a replacement, really. They're just kind of blown.
Well, I have some really good ones for $100 a pair. Do you want to do a little less than that?
No, $100 a pair is just fine if I like them. Yeah.
Well, the Rockfords, I think it.
So that's $100 for 2 speakers.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm down for that deal.
Yeah, these are in steel. They're the real deal.
Oh yeah.
And if you have any problem mounting them, come see me. I might have some adapter plates. Because some of the have you had them out yet?
No.
Okay. When you pull them out, if they have a big plastic thing behind them and it's making you crazy and you can't figure it out, come see me. I might be able to hook you up with something.
Okay, sweet.
All right.
Can I get 2 more?
Yeah, I can grab another.
One more pair.
Yep. I'll get you 2 pairs, and you know they're 6.5s.
Oh yeah.
All right, perfect. So that'd be $200 or $199.98. There you go. Let me write you up. Yeah. And if you can,
Buddy of mine, Mr. David Miller, just started working for a guitar shop in Bend, Oregon. He is a fantastic guitar player, vocalist. Has played in many bands. He and I have played with a lot of the same characters based in Portland, Oregon. And I just wanted to congratulate him on his new line of work. It's cool to have another buddy that's in the music preservation industry, keeping the guitar music flowing. And it's just fun to get to see him doing something that I think he really loves, working where he's at. And that's the American dream, isn't it? Love your job, love to make money, and love doing what you do to make that money to pay your bills, buy eggs, you know? All right, there we go. I gotta check the time. Oh boy, hey, we're hitting 2 o'clock. So at this point, what I've done is I've flattened this out so that I've got a fresh surface to mark out my new fret spacing. I have a black dot there that will tell me exactly where to put those string, and that will be identical to the spacing of the strings in the original nut, which is right here. So we've gotten that glued in. It's kind of shaped up, and we'll soften the edges on that a little bit. And we'll pick this up again tomorrow where we left off today. I'll schedule that. We'll probably get started tomorrow sometime around noon. Might go a little earlier, maybe try 11:30. So I hope you all have had a fun time hanging with me today. I have another live stream going on this afternoon at 5 o'clock after my students are, I'm done working with students today. And then Preston Smith will follow that at 6 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Pacific Daylight Time. Preston starts at, which will be, what is that, 9 o'clock? No, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And somebody loves me. Oh, I think this could be a good call. I'm going to go ahead and hang up. Hello, this is Marshall. Can you hang on for just a moment?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Hey, peace, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Tune in at 5 o'clock tonight, Pacific Daylight Time. I'll be on live again. Yes, sorry about that. Okay, hey, this is Marshall.